How's it going, y'all? It's August 1st. It is my 38th birthday, and it's time to let you know what my decision was on law schools. I'm going to go through each law school, what it would have cost me, what I liked about it, what I didn't, and why I ultimately chose what I did choose. So, let's get started. First off, GW, the first acceptance I got, and honestly it felt great, and I hate that this is the first school that I eliminated. Things I love about it, it maybe has the most diverse selection of classes of any law school. I mean, all right, GW probably, Georgetown probably has more, but it has a wide variety of classes I could have chosen from. It is in Washington, D.C., a place I hope to practice. Under this administration, maybe not as much, but it is somewhere that I was very much looking forward to. I was waiting with bated breath on scholarship information, and even when they didn't offer me a scholarship, I thought maybe with a reconsideration I'd get something, and it ended up being nothing. I would have loved to go there, but I had to eliminate it just because it wasn't practical. The tuition and fees would have been at least starting out $75,420. Living expenses would have been $35,527, and that would have given me a total cost of attendance of about $110,947, which, when you multiply that over 3 years, is $332,841. Could I have gotten other scholarships later? Possibly, but I just did not have the ability to dedicate myself to over $300,000 worth of debt. So, GW had to go. I will forever be grateful for them being the first law school to say yes to me, because honestly, my next acceptance wasn't until February, so that would have just been an absolute spiral for me if I had to wait for someone to say yes for another November, December, 4 months. So I thank them for at least letting me know I had an option and letting me know that I could go to law school. The next eliminated was University of Arizona. This one I applied to because they offered me a free CAS report and a fee waiver. And when they accepted me, full full scholarship for their full tuition scholarship, and it's based in Tucson, Arizona. They have some cool. It's southern. It's below the Mason-Dixon. It's somewhere warm. I really like that. They would have had a tuition and fees of $31,482. That's a $122 fee. The living expenses would have been about $25,600 for a total of $57,082 a year. But after you take out the scholarship, that would have only been $25,722, which multiplied over 3 years, that's $77,166. They also have a very cool program. I wish they talked more about this, but they had a program that would give you a law degree in both the United States and Australia. I I held on to I held on to hope for this one just because it was a very cool program. But one of the things that killed it for me, honestly, was Tucson is not a very easy place to get in and out of, and I do like being able to travel to and from more easily. In fact, I wasn't even able to attend admitted student stay because Tucson is so difficult to get in and out of. Grateful for them offering me a full tuition scholarship. Grateful for them giving me an acceptance. I really wish I could have gotten to know more. Oh, very accommodating. Because I couldn't make admitted student stay, they actually set out like a personalized virtual one where I got to talk directly to admissions staff, a professor, a student. It was a great recruiting experience, I will say. But University of Arizona, not going to be a Wildcat. Got to get my head in the game. Let's go on to the next one. Another one that was very difficult for me to say no because for Rutgers Camden, I will say that uh, Dean Sella, who's in charge of admissions, wonderful guy. At anything I got from him was very personalized. When I got the call, I could tell that they actually read the letters of recommendation. They actually read my personal statement. They really did everything they could to prove to me that, hey, look, we looked at all of you and we thought that, yes, you are somebody we want in our class. So, so grateful for that. It was an awesome feeling. And they gave me a damn near full tuition scholarship of $45,000. Their tuition and fees, because their fees are rather high, their full tuition and fees would have been $48,994. Living expenses would have been $32,546 for a total of $81,540. But take out the $45,000 scholarship, that's $36,540 for a total of $109,620. Great location. They have a lot of work for the working class. I honestly feel that still Rutgers is a place I could have done a lot of good, especially with my heart being in labor and employment. I think that being there next to Philadelphia would have been great. I probably would have lived in Philadelphia because who wants to live in Jersey? But um, yeah, because I was at the Camden campus, not the Newark campus. This would have put me in a great position for DC, New York, or Philly. I have no complaints. It was overall awesome. I really wish I could have done more with it, but unfortunately I had to say no. And again, this one hurt to say no to. I wish I could have held on just a little longer, but it wasn't possible. So now we're getting to my final two. These two I actually did deposit at. Uh, the first one I deposited at was Nebraska. They called and offered me a full scholarship. This was my second acceptance. My first acceptance was a scholarship. Uh, I actually got to visit the campus outside of Admitted Students Day because there was a storm during Admitted Students Day that would have made it so I wasn't able to visit. And uh, again, full tuition. So full tuition and fee scholarship. So tuition and fees is 40,836, and we can just cancel that out because the scholarship covered that. So I would have only had to cover living expenses, which would have been 23,910, which is not a lot at all. I would have barely had to touch Grad Plus, and that would have made a 3-year commitment, only $71,730, all living expense loans. I wish I could have done that. They have some cool stuff, especially with space law. That was something to be excited about. And they have some labor stuff. You may have heard about some recent ICE crackdowns. They actually have a fairly large refugee and immigrant community there, which I didn't know. But it's the downside is just it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. And I like again I told you I love being able to travel to and from a place. And Lincoln just it's very much a college town. I thank the admissions officers for being so accommodating. They there's a very real chance I could have ended up here, and I thank them for the opportunity. So I won't be part of the big red one. So let's talk about where I am going. So it looks like I'll be a legal eagle over at Emory Law. Um, some things I really liked about Emory Law. Oh, by the way, thank you to my friend Chloe for the haircut. As you notice, I'm no longer have anything right here because I'm gonna be in Atlanta, and long hair and heat and humidity do not mix very well. They mix a little, but I'd rather not. Emory, I actually kind of surprised myself because I initially wasn't going to apply anywhere in Georgia because of the whole UBE thing, but because my class will be taking Next Gen Bar, that kind of made it a moot point. I'm very grateful to Dr. Carmichael for helping me to be able to apply to Emory completely for free. This is one of the reasons go to the law fairs you can. I would not have applied had it not been for an experience I had with them at the Black Pre Law Fair. That should be happening again in November in NYC. Check it out. Go if you can. It was great. Emory has a great location. It turns out the matriarch of my family, my Aunt Evelyn, my grandma's sister, actually lives in Decatur now, so I'll spend some time with her. That's kind of nice. I do have a friend in Atlanta. There's a lot of film stuff going on there, and I actually worked in film in Austin, so if I can get a little film work while I'm out there, that'll be nice, but I don't expect to have time for film work. I very much loved visiting for their Admitted Students Day. Uh, Everybody seems to be very excited about Dean Freer. I don't know much about him, but anybody I told that I was considering Emory that was anything involved in the law space thought it was a great choice. I'm looking forward to doing hopefully being able to do both civil litigation specialty and criminal litigation specialty. It's very interesting because it's a very different school from any I've been in. I've only been in public education so far, and that is one thing that it does seem to be a bit of a culture shift going from public education to a private facility like this. Their tuition and fees are $70,472 a year. Living expenses being $38,990 for a total of $109,462. I got a $53,000 a year scholarship, and that brings it down to $56,462. I think there are opportunities for other scholarships as I go along, but over 3 years, that's $169,386. So this is my second most expensive option, but nowhere near the $300,000 that GW would have been. I am incredibly grateful. I am looking forward to heading down there in 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks now, actually. It's the first now, and the 11th is when orientation is. So I've got like 10 days to pack up my room, my pin collection, get my shit together, and get down there. First thing I'm buying for the room is a portrait of General Sherman because, I just need those Southern folks to know where I stand when it comes to that. But, yeah, I am very excited. Also, shout out to Giovanni Serta, one of the other admissions and scholarship people, who has been very helpful through my very neurotic kind of questioning throughout this, and who wrote a very nice handwritten letter when I went and visited the campus on my own and got me some other shirts. This is one of them. This is the official shirt, but I can see myself doing well. Plus, one of the big driving factors was that they can easily put me back in New York. And I do enjoy New York City. They can easily put me back in DC. And you know what? Again, Georgia, not bad. And yeah, that's it. So, again, I've got 10 days to move. If you want to help, check out brokelawstudent.com. Follow me at the Broke Law Student on I Need to Make a Blue Sky, but I have it on Instagram. I have it here on YouTube. In fact, I'm going to make thebrokelawstudent.com soon, and that's going to go to a Patreon because I want to help out others who may not have been able to figure this out on their own, figure it out. And yeah, that's it. I'm off to Georgia. I don't know if I'll take a midnight train, but the adventure's beginning, and we'll see how this goes. Anyway, I'm R. Felix Finch, the Broke Law Student. Peace out, party peoples. I will see you next time. And I'm moving to the country. Gonna eat me a lot of peaches.